Okay, hi folks. Terry Brown here. Thanks for checking out my video today, and I want to plug you into a webinar that was done a couple of nights ago, and it is it crap or is it gold? And we're talking about, of course, THW Global. Okay, a lot of stuff is being said. Okay, we're taking the approach that if this is a great opportunity, a golden opportunity, then it's time to get in now. Okay, we don't know. We don't know if it's crap or we don't know if it's gold. But I'm glad to have partnered with some wonderful people, and we've got seminars going on and conference calls and webinars rather. Okay, we'll put it that way: webinars, training, opportunity webinars, etc. Okay, and I want to plug you into a webinar that was done again maybe a couple nights ago. Okay, and just listen up for a bit. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play part of it because I want you to get the gist of what's going on here. This could be a very powerful opportunity for all of us, and the time now is to get started now, because guess what? It doesn't cost you anything to get started. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to plug you in. I'm going to get my face out of the place, and then we're going to come back and plug you right in. So hold on with me. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we get this plugged in for you.
Thank you, Queen. And the reason we call her Queen Twitter, or Queen for short, is because she has over 1 million folks following her on Twitter. That's huge. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this Is It Crap? Is it crap? Doggone it, is it crap? Or is it gold webinar? And of course, we don't really know. So those that are out there saying it's crap, it's crap, it's crap, we don't know. And those that's out there saying it's gold, it's gold, it's gold, we don't know. We won't know until this system launches and people get paid on time. What we're going to do, however, is we're going to proceed cautiously, but proceed as if it is gold. So our disclaimer to start with is it could be crap. We don't know. It could be gold. We don't know. All right. What we don't want to do is just sit back and wait. One of my multimillionaire mentors taught me this years ago, 20 plus years ago. He said, a good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan executed tomorrow. So we're not going to sit back and wait to see if things work to perfection. We're going to go on and start sharing this now with our disclaimers. And if it winds up being crap, darn. If it winds up being gold, because there is no financial risk, then we're going to go forward. Queen, I hear some background noise. Now, I do need to say this real quickly, and then we're going to get into our content. And this will be some new content. So some of you that have come to our webinars over the past week or 2 weeks, you're going to see and hear some things that you haven't heard up to this point. My lovely wife swept me off my feet 24 years ago, and I still haven't found the floor. She's dealt with some health issues of late. And one of the things that she's dealing with, unfortunately, is she has a compression fracture in her back. So that makes it very difficult for her to get up and move around right now until she'll have surgery soon and all that good stuff. Now, normally when I'm doing a live webinar, one of my sons is there to attend to her if she needs anything. And yesterday, in his attempt to be LeBron James and Steph Curry all in one, he had an accident playing basketball. And so he's incapacitated. So I just checked on my wife to make sure she was okay. If she needs me, as much as I want to do this uninterrupted, obviously my first duty is to my wife and to my children. So if she calls me, I'll have to step away. I'll let you know that I have to step away. I'll get back as soon as I possibly can. Hopefully we can go on uninterrupted. All right, so let's go on and get started. By the way, if you are here in your questions box, open that up for me. If you are here and you have not yet registered with THW Global, you have not registered with THW Global, in your questions box, put no or in or something like that. That tells me you have not yet registered with THW Global. And that's fine. That's fine, because I want to give you enough information for you to say, well, if this thing is gold, why might this thing work? And why might this be a big hit? Okay? Gotcha. Okay. Okay. All right. So there's some of you here that have not yet registered. And so we're going to be saying, as we go through this material, if it makes sense to you, get back to the person that referred you and register with them. Hide your purse, hide your wallet, hide your credit card, because nobody's asking you for any money. You can register with THW Global absolutely free. And again, you'll want to register with the person that referred you. So I see some no's there, but I don't see nearly as many no's as I see people on the webinar. So I'm going to also assume that a lot of you are already registered. Let's give you value. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Okay. So I just captured this just a few moments before we started the webinar, and this just shows you just how much interest there is in THW Global. Now, what we want to do on this evening is we don't want to just sell the sizzle. We don't want to just talk about the buzz. We want to see if there's really some substance potentially behind THW Global. In less than 2 weeks now, or just about 2 weeks now, they've registered 275,000 accounts. They're registering about 1,000 people per hour, and we see this number go up and down. We saw towards the end of last week, it was like 1,100, and then over the weekend it went down a little bit as people were out doing things with the family, not paying as much attention to the internet, things of that nature. But look at the amount of visitors today, 360,000 visitors today, and more importantly, look at the page views. People are sticking. I went to Alexa, and I believe I'm right on this. It seemed to suggest that people were on the site an average of 5 minutes per visit, which is huge in the internet marketing space. You don't typically get people spending that much time at a website. Now THW Global is in the advertising niche. They're in the advertising niche. Okay. Give me a moment. Was that the right number? Oh, I'm sorry. This was from earlier. This was from a couple hours ago. This was from just a few moments ago. All right. So over 1 million page views, 277,000 have now registered. All right. So just in a couple of hours, a couple thousand more folks have registered with THW Global. Okay. So THW Global is in the advertising space. It's in the advertising space. Now let's look at some other companies that are in the advertising space to see if there is potential, Cheryl, for you and I to make money, Rod, leveraging a company that's in the advertising space. Let's first take a look at YouTube. All right, let's first take a look at YouTube. This comes from Fortune Magazine, where they asked the question, how much is YouTube worth? Now, this is actually dated. This is a little more than a year ago. And back then, they were saying that YouTube, which is owned by Google, is worth $70 billion all on its own. If you separated YouTube from Google, and obviously, what are they generating their monies from? They're generating their monies from ad revenue. Now, this is very important for us to get, okay? Because Google, as well as YouTube, and we'll take a look at a couple of other social media sites, have a free model, meaning for someone to be a user, for someone to be a subscriber, for someone to be an account holder, it doesn't cost you anything to have a YouTube account. It doesn't cost you anything to have a Gmail account. Obviously, Gmail owned by Google. It doesn't cost anything to have a Facebook account. All right. So what THW Global has done is they've said, wait a minute. Here is a free model that's generating billions with a B, dollars in advertising revenue. So YouTube, which by the way, who would have thought this 10 years ago when Google bought YouTube for what now seems like a paltry $1.65 billion. They are saying that YouTube in and of itself has a higher value of all but 66 companies in the Standard & Poor's S&P 500. The S&P 500 are the top 500 companies weighted in their capitalization, what they're worth when you take their outstanding shares of the stock times the stock price. That's where you come up with those numbers, okay? So there's only 66 companies that are larger than YouTube. What is YouTube? It's a free site that draws in content viewers, and because of all of these content viewers, YouTube is able to sell advertising, generating $70 billion net worth to Google. Let's take a look at Twitter, okay? Now, this was interesting because this particular article was actually not so, what's the word I'm looking for? The complimentary of Twitter in its last quarter where they were reporting their earnings. Because essentially what was happening with Twitter is their user base isn't growing, not nearly, let's say, like a Facebook or what have you. But even with that being said, even though the user base is not growing, which, it doesn't hurt when you still have 1 billion plus or so users, even though the user base isn't growing as much, their income, their advertising is growing. So here's another free model. What has it cost you to set up a Twitter account? Nothing. What did it cost you to set up a YouTube or a Gmail account? Nothing. Okay? Didn't cost you anything. Which, by the way, Ted, how pretty is the Twitter site? Is it a drop dead gorgeous site, or is it pretty just average? Because THW Global, when I first saw the site, I wasn't impressed at all. But I had to look at it not in the space of network marketing or home-based business building. I had to look at it for what it says it wants to become, which is an advertising giant. When I go to Facebook, I don't see some mind-blowing website. When I go to YouTube, when I go to Instagram, I don't see anything on the front end that's mind-blowing. Take a look at this. With Twitter, in the fourth quarter, they made $641 million in advertising. Here's a free model. You can join THW for free. Here's a free model, Twitter, that generated, because it has a massive user base now, $641 million in advertising, and that was up 48% year over year. And they're getting a lot of that growth from mobile. So THW Global is in the advertising space, and it will allow you and I to leverage them to make money, and we'll be able to do it with our mobile devices, or if you want to sit in front of a desktop computer. Let's show Facebook, okay? Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this. Social network on Wednesday. This is reported April 28, 2016. Advertising revenue jumped 57% in the first quarter to $5.2 billion with a B. A quarter, ladies and gentlemen, is just 3 months. They did $5.2 billion with a B dollars in revenue. And if you compare that to the same time last year, they did $3.3 billion. Certainly nothing to sneeze at. But look at that growth in what? What was a free model. What was a free model, and it still is free to the users, but what Facebook did, what YouTube did, what Google has done, what Twitter has done, is they've launched a free platform, so there's no barriers to entry, so people, hey, it's free, it's not going to cost me anything, let me join, okay? Now, what these companies have done is they've monetized that huge database. The problem is they haven't paid you. The problem, Victor, they haven't paid you, buddy. The problem, Zeke Stewart, they haven't paid you. The problem is they haven't paid you. Give me just a moment. I want to go to something real quickly. So let me show you. Now, let me stay on track here. Let me stay on track. Give me a moment. I'm sorry. I got excited. We'll get back to that. Okay. Now let's look at something else. Let's look at something else. So this is what I want you to get right here. By the way, this is a two-part webinar. Okay. The first part is to help you understand advertising, THW Global, what their goals are as they've communicated it to us. The second part is how do we really parlay this into an income stream and potentially even 6 and 7 figures in our businesses. Okay, let's go back to work. Let's take a look at Google real quickly, all right? Now, this is a different form of advertising. Many of you are familiar with the terminology Google AdWords. And this is where you go to Google, you go Google something, and what pops up is, all of these search results. But you have those first few results that are ads. And if you click on to one of those links, then there is an advertiser who's basically paying to be there. And whenever you click, that advertiser is being charged. That's called a pay-per-click or cost-per-click marketing. Now, take a look at what some companies are paying to have their ads viewed when you when you go to Google. So let's say you go Google insurance. All right. Some companies pay as much as $54.91 just to have a person click onto the site. Person may stay on the site a second. They may stay on the site 2 hours. They were charged as much as $54.91 a click. What I want to get across and impress upon you is advertising's not going anywhere, and big business is paying big money to get their message in front of people. Loans, $44.28 per click. Mortgage, $47.12 per click. Per click. Don't know how long, they don't know when someone clicks how long they're going to be on that site. They don't know when someone clicks how serious they really are about getting a mortgage. And so WordStream said this. They said, what's the most money Google can make for each click? Google can make up to $50 per click from pay-per-click keyword bids. It goes on to say that insurance keyword bids have been as high as $54.91. Again, I want to impress upon you just how big this advertising piece is. Okay, highest CPC for loan keywords: 44.28, 47.12 for mortgages, 47.07 for attorneys. So again, people, companies, systems are paying big money to advertise their message, to get their message out in mass. Now let's talk about TV advertising. Okay, $78 billion a year just in the U.S. goes for TV ads and commercials.
Okay, folks, I want to pause right there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to end this particular video right there. The point that I hope that all of us get is the power of advertising and the power of the advertising dollar. Okay, and when you look at THW Global, if it is gold, okay, they can do some very similar things like a Google or Facebook, a YouTube, etc. Okay, a Twitter. Okay, they can do some very similar things. And that's where the money that you would receive, if this is gold, that's where that money would come from. But hopefully, what you saw in this video opens you up so that you can see at least the possibilities, at least the potential. And we're going into this thing, and I'm so glad that I've connected with some great leaders in the industry who are really looking at this program to see whether or not this is a golden opportunity. And I'm going to say it again, at this point, we do not know. But we will know maybe in a week or two, okay? It's beginning to look like it is. It's got some teeth in it. But we're looking at it. The thing is have you got started yet? Guess what? It's free. Okay, it's free to get started. If this is gold, somebody in the kitchen. If this is gold, then you want to make sure that you have a position and that you position yourself with a team, okay, that's going to be doing what we are doing, all right? And that's bringing you tremendous value and to help you build a tremendous team with THW Global, all right? A friend of mine used to say, he thinks he said enough to have dinner over. That's where I am right now. I'm going to close this video out. There's going to be a link to my THW Global website where you can get signed up. Get signed up today, and whenever there's a webinar or whatever, of course, we're going to put you on a list and make sure that you get all of that information so that you know what's going on with this opportunity, okay? So guess what? You have absolutely nothing to lose. So get signed up today, okay? I'm Terry Brown. I'm signing off. I'm wishing you today a very, very blessed day. Is it crap or is it gold? We're going to find out. Bye-bye now.